Hey, my name is Misty. I'm a musician with busted ears. If you don't know my story, I'll put it in the link above. You can find it on the main video on my page. It can get you up to speed. So when I first found out that I was going to have hearing aids, I started Googling and I was trying to figure out, okay, well, can hearing aids really help people with Meniere's disease, which is what I have. I have it in both ears. When I first started Googling hearing aids and Meniere's disease, I found a bunch of websites from either, audiologists or hearing aid companies. I felt like they were kind of trying to sell me on their services or their hearing aids. Yes, they can help with Meniere's disease, which I get it. They're trying to sell something. And so I was finding a lot of the pros, but not a lot of the realistic angles that I was hoping to hear. So I just wanted to talk today about realistic expectations for what hearing aids can do and can't do if you have Meniere's disease. And again, I'm just speaking from my experience after having them for a few weeks now. I'm not a professional or a doctor or an expert or anything. You saw the disclaimer at the beginning of the video. Your ear works like a very complex microphone. It's capturing vibrations and it's taking those vibrations and it's turning it into an electrical signal. So in the same way that your ear is that complex microphone that's capturing sounds, the hearing aid is trying to do the same thing. I have the typical receiver in canal hearing aid. I'll put a picture here. And hearing aids definitely at least help me with the loss side of my condition. Many times it's not that we have truly lost any certain frequency, it's just that we don't hear it well enough. And so what a hearing aid is able to do is to kind of take what little bit we have left and amplify it. So it has certainly helped me with day-to-day just taking everything around me and making it louder, which helps the loss side of my condition. It also really helps with things like environmental awareness. If I'm walking along a street and there just happens to be a car that is about to approach me and swerve into me, now I have a better chance of hearing that. My husband no longer terrifies me when he's walking up the stairs behind me because I can actually hear him approaching. So the hearing aids have definitely helped me with the loss side, taking a little bit I have and making it louder. But it's important to understand that with Meniere's disease, not only do we have loss, but a lot of it have additional distortions and resonances. And unfortunately, at least my experience, the hearing aids are not a magic bullet to fix those things. It's not something it can do. In many ways, it can be frustrating because all of the distortions and resonances you're hearing, it's taking those and making them even more painfully obvious. Let's look at this super cheesy graphic I made to try to understand how this is working. I mean, most hearing aids we can kind of think of as a really fancy, detailed volume knob, but let's kind of break it down here. At the top here, a hearing aid usually has, at least a typical receiver and canal hearing aid has some sort of microphone, right? So it's picking up everything that's coming in, and then it allows you to do things like adjust the EQ, which if you're scared of a word like EQ, basically we're just talking about volume control over specific frequencies. So we're talking about, hey, we can maybe turn the low frequencies or the bass up or the treble down, right? Most modern hearing aids, I have an app that lets me adjust the EQ or the overall volume of what's incoming. Now, a lot of people get really excited about the EQ feature. For instance, with Meniere's disease, I have what's called basically a loss of my low end frequencies. And so a lot of people think oh, well, now you can fix that, right? Because you have an EQ. It's not that simple. Let's keep going on down the line here. So we've got this incoming signal that this mic on the hearing aid is recording, and then it basically with a speaker, it takes that and blasts that into our ear. Here's the sad part. Your ear is broken from Meniere's disease. If you're getting those distortions and resonances, it's kind of like you're capturing this incoming signal with another microphone. Let's think of our ears as that microphone. So even though we can do all kinds of things to adjust the EQ and the level, and obviously there's certain kinds of compression going on with hearing aids, even if we adjust the presets, the directional, all the cool stuff, the programs that it comes with, at the end of the day, we're still holding up a broken, busted microphone. Now, unfortunately, this means for things for music, especially live music, oh my gosh. The other night I went to a show and I had my hearing aids in. It was the first time I went to go hear some live music, and it was laughably terrible. All the incoming sounds were so distorted and so resonant, and all of that was literally amplified, and it was really terrible. Yes, a lot of these hearing aids come they're called programs, but they're basically presets for music and things. I've tried some of those and I don't find that they really help much, and maybe I just need to get used to them more. For me, live music, I'm going to try to go to another show this Friday, and I'm just going to put earplugs in. I think that's actually going to be a little bit better of an experience. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to bash hearing aids. I'm really thankful for them and they have really helped me. But on days like today where my ears are actually raging super, super bad, my distortions are really bad, I'm still having trouble understanding speech, even if I crank those hearing aids up. It doesn't fix the distortion part. That's why a lot of people with Meniere's disease end up having to make the decision of whether they want cochlear implants, because there does come a day for a lot of people where their hearing aids can no longer really help if the distortion gets too bad. So I'm hoping that my hearing aids, I'm hoping we can hold out as long as we can, but I'm realizing there might come a day where they can only help so much. I knew all that going into this. One thing that the hearing aids have helped me with is tinnitus. Before my hearing aids, the world was fairly dull and quiet, and it made my multiple rings and drones a lot more obvious because I couldn't hear much else other than that. And now with the hearing aids, because I can hear more things around me, it gives me something else to focus on rather than just those crazy multiple noises going on all the time. So that's actually been helpful. It's also super helpful that I can directly stream phone calls and other things straight to my ears, which has also been really great. There are certainly a lot of advantages and it has certainly helped me out, but at the end of the day, it also can be a magnifier of my current problems. So if you have Meniere's disease and you're wondering how much hearing aids can help, I hope this brings a realistic perspective to you. For me, it was hard to find resources out there that gave me something that was a little bit more realistic, that wasn't trying to sell me something. So I'm hoping maybe my experience can help somebody, I don't know, make that decision. If you're a musician that has struggled with hearing aids in any way, shape, or form, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Let me know how you're dealing with it.